some employees of some companies complain that in the daily activities they have, they update an Excel sheet that takes ages to load, and it takes also ages to get a cell updated after the enter. This problem comes from having that Excel sheet as a data storage solution and as a way to interact with such data storage solution. In this video you will see another way to keep things more safe. In the previous video you saw that I had a sales workbook, and in a moment I said that generally this data can come from an API that is a waiter of data. For example, you link your workbook to Shopify or WooCommerce. This video aims at companies that don't have low ticket products. So they have to, let's say, create their sheet about leads and customer by hand. For example, some examples of not low ticket products. You sell windows, you sell doors, you sell machines, you sell home and or you build them. In such cases you could also have a service that collects data for you, but in my experience this happens very rarely. So in order to not do every time date field manually with the name of the product and the amount you sell, you can do something a bit smarter. That is a form that is another product of Microsoft that in my opinion is undervalued. Inside the Microsoft 365 link you see that we have many applications. Some are overused, for example PowerPoint, some are abused, for example Excel, and then we have the forms that you can also find here, but you can search it manually here. So let's create a new form. Very easy. Let's call it lead. First name, last name, I put it as mandatory as well, email. Here we can also put some restrictions. See? So we have higher data quality. In the case of the lead, those questions are enough. We could also add the phone number in some cases. And the other options you see here are more for data enrichment. For example, you want to understand the personality of the lead. In a way, it also respects the law on personal data. So it is enough. In this way, instead of interacting with this, you collect the responses using this link. And notice that this link is accessible also from the phone. You can interact with this everywhere. This seems trivial to some, but try to say this for Excel sheets that have thousands and thousands of rows. I dare you to prove me otherwise. Anyway, let's say John Doe, the equivalent of Mario Rossi, email johndoe@gmail.com. We submit, and at this moment we will see something magic. We can see the answers, and we can of course open the results in Excel. We click here, continue, and we have connected our front end with our back end. So at this moment you could wonder what happens if in 3 weeks I want to add another question, that you create holes for the previous answerers that didn't have that question. And in my experience this can happen. It is not tragic, it can become a problem. Let's see. Back to the questions, add new question. Let's say, what is your budget below between and more than let's put it like that because otherwise some people might complain. We don't put it mandatory. Let's also add a question that we know already it will have a lot of no answers, so many holes. Notes for the sales rep, e.g. days of a very specific situation. For example, if you sell windows, the lead could say they don't have a normal measure for the place where to put the window, but they have a very unusual situation because they built the house 3 centuries ago where there existed different measurements. Okay, now let's complete this again. Let's say Mario Rossi this time. Mario Rossi. Let's put this and old house. Submit. We go to this. You see that it immediately synchronized, and you see the hole I mentioned here. As I also said in the previous video, with this sheet we just do data collection. For the data analysis we could, at one point it is very reasonable to use another completely different workbook to do the data aggregation of the case. Example, pivot tables. There is also another way to add the form without passing from here, that is insert form and then you edit the form as you. So now there are some people out there that do a thing I find not elegant at all, and that is they put the form inside a Google Sheet, and that has a much higher grade of complexity than what I showed you. It goes against the objective of the last two videos, that is having something fast and tidy.